Hey guys, so I have two tripod heads in front of me right here. These are ball heads. They are from a company named Sinnofoto, which these guys did send these two tripod heads out to me. Actually, I was in the market for one of these, so that's why I accepted their offer in reviewing both of these. So we have the M1 and we have the Q08 on the left. So the M1 takes a maximum load of 13 pounds, I believe, and this one is 19.8 pounds. So 19.8 pounds on the Q08 and 13.2 pounds on the M1. So if you have a heavier rig, you might want to use the Q08. Both of these tripods are relatively cheap, or I would say relatively inexpensive. The M1 costs $24.99 on Amazon, and the Q08 currently costs $29.99. So they're both under 30 bucks. Let me speak about some of the specs on these tripods. So starting first with the M1, the cheaper or the less expensive one. At the top you have a quick release plate, as you can see, and by just turning this knob, it'll expand, which actually, if you look closer, you can see that you've got two springs on each side. And when you turn that, that closes, that compresses that. I'll just put that quick release. You know what? Let me show you the quick release plate. So the quick release plate can easily be attached to your camera, and if you actually pick up this little latch here, you can turn that onto your camera. Just put that down there. That is a flathead. So if you need to make it really tight, you can use a flathead Allen key or something of that sort. Let's put the quick release plate back. There we go. Okay, what else? We have a bubble level. We also have another bubble level on the knob of the quick release plate. Turning that around, we also have a ball lock. So this releases the tension or increases the tension on the actual ball. As you can see, if you want to make it a little bit tighter, you just tighten it up. And then all the way at the bottom we have a pan knob. So this is the pan, 360 degrees. And if you want to increase the tension on that, you just turn the knob right. The rule of thumb is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And you can just turn that. And it's actually very fluid, if I might add. I'll show you some footage of that with my camera or with my iPhone SE. So in front of me I have the Zome Q111, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the ball head onto this tripod. So if you didn't know, you could actually do this. So if you have a tripod that you have a static head or a non-removable head, then you can go ahead, grab your ball head tripod mount and just hook that on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. So it is very fluid. Now the second one here is not that much different than the M1, except for you have the ability to put heavier loads on this one. So I believe it's 19.8 pounds for this one. You have the same thing, the quick release plate with a knob. By the way, these knobs have a coating of rubber on them, so you get a good grip. As you can see, same type of plate. Just put that back on. You also have the bubble level here on the knob. And on the other side you have the bubble level as well. So let's just tighten that up. Okay, so on this one you have an extra knob, as you guys can probably tell. Let's go through each knob. So this one is the quick release plate knob. As I showed you before on this one, very similar. So next you have the ball lock, which you can lock the ball on the tripod, or you can release that all the way and you now have a moving ball. So the extra knob that you have here is for heavier rigs. So if you want to increase tension without locking this completely, you have that extra knob right here. Actually got some grease on my fingers just now from the I don't know if you guys, if my camera's picking that up, but this has a lot of grease around that ball. Anyway, yeah, so you can increase or decrease the tension with this knob right here. So if you're using a very light rig, you might want to release the tension to the minimum. And if you want to, if you were using a heavier rig, then you would want to tighten that so that you would get a nice tight ball head for the heavier rigs. And you can move the ball head into position, whichever position you want, and that would stay in place, as you guys can tell. The next knob that you have right here is for the panning. So as you can see, as I showed you on this one, you have that pan option. Very fluid also, very similar. And if you want to lock it, you would just turn the knob right. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And as you can see, it is very fluid. So in terms of the panning, these are both very similar. Pretty much in terms of everything, they're very similar, except for this one can handle heavier loads. This one is meant for heavier loads, I should say. So again, 19.8 kilograms as opposed to 13.2 kilograms. That's for the M1. So here we have the Q08. As you can see, very fluid pan movements as well. So pans all the way 360 degrees. It might not look so smooth on camera because this is the iPhone SE and it is very shaky. There's no stabilization there. So that's why it might appear shaky on the iPhone SE. But I can show you right here that it is very fluid, as you can see. Now for the camera ball head, let me just unlock it so you guys can see. And let me reduce the tension a little bit because I am using an iPhone SE. Okay, so there we go. So it is rigid as well, but it's definitely more fluid than the M1. So they're both very similar in price. I honestly prefer this one since you have a tension switch for the ball head. It's a more precise tension switch as opposed to the just lock unlock. Obviously it does control the tension as well, but it's not as fluid as it is on the Q08 since you have an extra knob right here to control the tension. So if you were using a lighter device, you can make that lighter and it's still fluid. It could also be because of the grease that's on here. It's a very sticky type of grease which gives it a very fluid movement. This one for some reason doesn't have that grease, but I'm sure it could be added if you guys know what type of grease it is. I'm not really sure if it's even grease because it is very sticky. Anyway, if you guys do know what it is, let me know in the comment section below, but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in my next video.